This is an informal regular session. The agenda has 3 items for April 22nd. First, it'll deal with air quality, and secondly, Community Alternative Sentencing Center, and then a citizen damage issue on Sugar Camp Road. So, Mr. Braasch, if you'd like to introduce who's with you, and
thank you very much. I'm Paul Braasch. I'm the director of the Clermont County Office of Environmental Quality, and with me today is Holly Christmann from the Hamilton County Environmental Services Department, and Megan Hummel, also with Hamilton County Environmental Services, and they administer the Southwest Air Quality Group, and which includes Clermont County and a number of other counties. I'll let them talk about that. But I did want to make a special note that it's advantageous that they scheduled this presentation today because it's Earth Day. Okay. And I just wanted to make some comments about the activities that Clermont County has been involved with regarding environmental issues, because Clermont County and the commissioners are a very big part of environmental issues in Clermont County. And I think what most people don't recognize, and I thought I'd make a point about today, is the part that the water and sewer, or the Water Resources Department, play in the environment. It's a huge one that we all take for granted. But one of the great steps that we made forward in this country and on this planet was when we started developing centralized sewer systems. And that has done a great benefit to the environment and has done a great benefit to our health.
Was that back in the Roman days, or when was that?
Well, it wasn't.
U.S.
Yeah.
It wasn't quite that long ago. We waited a while. The Romans, they started, but we made a vast improvement upon it. I think they were just sending it to the ocean.
We had a flushable toilet.
That's right. Yeah, when they started building sewer plants. And so and I know that the Water Resources Department is a huge part of what the commissioners administrate, and I think that it should be noted on this day that is a great benefit to the county here, and I don't think most people appreciate it. They take it for granted.
Well, the mere fact that you're taking what you flush down the toilet and you're treating it so it comes out as potable water, all the effluent.
Well, it's not exactly potable. You know, Lyle Bloom may say he'll drink it, but no, I'm going to keep
as far as it has to be safe enough, you know.
It is safe enough for the environment, and we go to great lengths to make sure that water is as good a quality as we can make it.
Absolutely.
And we're always trying to do better. But not to belabor the point, I'll introduce Holly Christmann again.
So we're talking about air quality now.
Our remote.
Good afternoon, Commissioners, and thank you for allowing us to come out today and take a little bit of time on your agenda to talk to you about our new Air Quality Advisory Program. The slides are coming up here in a second. But as Paul mentioned, Hamilton County Environmental Services has the Southwest Ohio Air Quality Agency as one of its under our jurisdiction, and the Southwest Ohio Air Quality Agency includes Butler, Clermont, Warren, and Hamilton counties. So our Air Quality Agency serves those 4 counties. Basically what we do is we monitor the air quality in those 4 counties to make sure we are meeting US EPA's air quality standards, and we also monitor and issue permits for industries to make sure they're also in compliance with all air permit regulations. I think we all know why air quality is important, but just to make sure we're all on the same page. 1, public health. So air quality is essential for public health, especially for those members of our population that are young children, elderly, and those with respiratory illnesses, such as asthma, for example. A lot of folks suffer from that in our area. I think we all know why it's great for our environment. And one thing we don't talk a lot about is economic development and air quality and the relationship they have together. So it is very important for our region to be in compliance with these air quality standards because it has a direct relation with economic development. If we don't meet these standards, there is the distinct possibility, and it does happen, that it's harder to issue air permits for industries when we are not in compliance with these standards. So speaking of those standards, they're the National Ambient Air Quality Standards. These are standards set by US EPA for 6 pollutants. They are designed to protect public health and the environment. And in order for us to meet these standards, it does require all of us to work together. And you'll hear more about that in a few minutes. But it really is essential and important for all of us to make sure that our region is meeting these air quality standards. And if you take anything from today's presentation, I want you to understand that our air quality in Southwest Ohio has improved dramatically over the past 20 years. And you'll see evidence of that in a couple slides. So those 6 pollutants I mentioned that are the National Ambient Air Quality Standards are listed here. You can see our compliance status in Southwest Ohio. We do meet the majority of the standards, and we anticipate meeting most of them here shortly. Just because it says unclassifiable for nitrogen dioxide does not mean we're not in attainment. We just didn't have enough years of data to prove that we're in attainment. Next slide.
So you talk about 6 measures, 6?
Yes.
So I count 7 on your list.
So particulate matter is counted as one.
Okay.
It's just there are
Very
2
good.
sizes of particulate matter.
Okay,
Yes.
very good, thank you.
Good question. So I mentioned, our air quality has improved. That wasn't the case 20 or 30 years ago. We didn't have the best air quality. So at that time, our office developed the Smog Alert program. And smog alerts were called and issued by our agency the day before air pollution levels are expected to be unhealthy for sensitive groups. And again, that's the elderly, children, people with respiratory illnesses. And back in the 80s, we had such poor air quality, we brought a lot of stakeholders together and formed what was called the Regional Ozone Coalition, which helped develop this program. And it did a great job of involving stakeholders, involving businesses and communities to help us improve air quality. It was a great success, resulting in major improvements in air quality.
Is that like whenever you would recommend don't mow your yard
Exactly.
on between this hour and this hour?
That's exactly
Don't-
right.
Don't fill up, your car between this hour and this hour.
Right. So some of those individual tips, you're exactly right. Don't mow on a smog alert day, refuel after 8 p.m., carpool, take the bus, those types of things, exactly. I'm glad you're aware of that program.
And don't tip off,
Yes, don't top off your gasoline.
off on the-
Exactly right. So I mentioned how much air quality is improving. You'll see on the next slide, we show you exact proof of that. So this shows you the ozone concentrations that we've been measuring for years. This goes all the way back to 1976. And you can see a nice trend line showing how much our air has improved. The green bar on here is the National Ambient Air Quality Standard for ozone. The current standard is 75 parts per billion. And you can see as of 2013, we are meeting that standard.
It's a huge drop in the last
Yes.
year. Is there a particular reason for that?
Well, ozone has a lot to do with weather. So we've had the last 2 summers, if you remember, we've had cooler than normal summers. But in 2012, it was a hot summer. So a lot of it does have to do with weather conditions. And then for particulate matter, again, you can see that nice trend line continuing to improve our air quality. The green line, again, is the current standard for particulate matter, which is 2.5 micrograms per cubic meter.
Were the attainment goals higher back in these other, so we met those goals maybe or came close to them, but they keep making the goal
Exactly.
smaller. Okay, thank you.
Exactly. So our air is getting better, but the standards keep getting more stringent.
Yep.
So just, for example, for the particulate matter slide here, just in 2011, the standard was 15 micrograms per cubic meter, and now it's down to 12. So every 5 years, US EPA reviews the science behind these standards and makes a decision of whether to propose a more stricter standard or not. And you'll hear in a few minutes about US EPA's proposal to make the ozone standard more strict. So with that brief introduction, I'm going to turn it over to Megan Hummel. Megan is our PR coordinator for environmental services, and she's going to talk to you about changes to the Smog Alert program and the support we would like to receive and partnership with Clermont County. So with that, I'll turn.
On the monitor, for Clermont, I know you had it there on 222.
Yes, we have one in Batavia.
Yeah, right. It's close to where the old county home was and where municipal court
Is that on Clermont Center Drive?
No, there was an old one before your day.
Okay.
Okay, so that's no longer there, that one.
It's no longer there, but it's moved up.
Well, I'd rather it be moved up there because it was down in the valley where that kind of, you know, skewed a lot of things because it would come down and just settle in the valley.
Yeah, we have 18 monitors throughout the 4 counties, just to let you know. 18 sites, 59 monitors in total for air quality monitoring purposes. So, Megan?
So Holly talked a little bit about the old Smog Alert program, which has been in place for the last 20 years. And it was a great program. It was very successful. It was really the first time the region has became aware of our regional air quality issues. But it's 20 years old, so we know that now is the time that change is needed. And there's a couple reasons for that. One is we've seen complacency set in from the general public and the media. You know, just a few years ago, every single smog alert was newsworthy, and now they rarely are. There is a very real possibility of having an air quality issue in the wintertime. We're not just talking about ozone anymore. We typically think of smog alerts on a hot, hazy, humid summer day, and we can have an air quality issue any time of year. It could be wintertime due to high particulate matter. So we really know that change needs to happen to get the public ready for that. And the third reason that change is needed to this program is because of that ozone standard, which is proposed to be changed by the US EPA that Holly mentioned. So right now, the national standard is 75 parts per billion. When we talk about parts per billion, these are really small particles. We just now meet that standard in our region. So the proposed change is to lower that standard to between 70 and 65 and possibly even down to 60. So if we just now are meeting the 75 standard, we know we won't meet the new one. So we really need everyone to participate. And when I say everyone, it's not just Clermont County, that's me, that's you when you go home, that's all of us in the whole region need to participate and take these actions. The not mowing your yard, all of those things we all need to do at this point.
Well, I think you'll find most regions are not going to
That's exactly right.
do that.
That's exactly right. This chart really kind of exemplifies changes to the new ozone standard. It shows just the last 2 years. Now keep in mind, those were good ozone summers. They were very cool. We just, last year, just had 4 exceedances of the 75 parts per billion. If it had been the lower 70 parts per billion, we would have had 20. That's 20 smog alerts. And if it had been the 65, we would have had 66 days. So just imagine if it had been a typical hot day. That's a lot of smog alerts. So we know that that change is needed. And we've got a lot of work to do, and we need help doing it. It's not something our agency can do alone. So this is the new program. Air Quality Advisory is the new name, and there's a new logo that goes along with it. This name and logo are used in every other major region in Ohio. So if you're traveling to Dayton, Columbus, or other parts of the state, you will see the same look and name. It also is an opportunity to create more awareness. You know, we talked about everyone needs to participate. So this is really an opportunity to create that awareness and that excitement to re-engage everyone on our region's air quality. It's a technically much more accurate name. One thing to point out is we put air in the name so everyone will know what we're talking about. Advisory we liked a little bit better. It's a little bit more clear in that you're supposed to take some action. And again, we took smog alert out. Smog is really kind of an old-fashioned term. It comes from, I think everyone knows, smoke and fog. And it's not necessarily going to look smoggy outside when we have an air quality day. Many times it's a beautiful blue, clear sky day, but the conditions are still right for the formation of air pollution. And that can be true for ozone or particulate matter. So that's one thing we're really trying to get away from and educate people that it won't necessarily look hazy outside. That's kind of an old-fashioned term. The reason we're launching this program now is April 1st was the first day of ozone monitoring season. Monitoring season for ozone goes April 1 through October 31st. So it was the right time to do that. And again, there's been a lot of attention on the new ozone standard being proposed by US EPA. So we thought we would continue that conversation and say, yes, the standards are getting more strict. Here's something we can all do to help. This is a regional program. We mentioned our office. Okay. Our office does have jurisdiction over Butler, Clermont, Hamilton, and Warren counties, but this is actually a regional program that includes the northern Kentucky counties as well. So we're here today, and we've been meeting with a lot of organizations and stakeholders over the past month to explain this new program and to ask for help. Again, this is not something our office can do alone. So we'd like to ask for Clermont County to assist us on this program. And there's really two things we've been working on and we would like your help with. One is to first share this information with your employees. So we've met with businesses, large and small, universities, government agencies, municipalities, and we're asking them to first share this information with their frontline employees so that you already have an engaged audience. So let's educate them on this new program and the things that they can do. The second is we're asking organizations to put a business plan in place for air quality. So what that is that those personal tips that we are all supposed to do, the not mowing your yard, refueling after 8 p.m., all of those personal individual actions, but putting them together on a larger scale, so on a business sense. So organizations right now are putting plans together, and we're asking for an actual plan that says on an air quality advisory day, we will do these things, or maybe not do these things. And the program is really great because it can be tailored to each organization and in your case, each department, as well as it's flexible. So what works for one organization may not work for another, and that's okay. So we have some communication already prepared for organizations that we've sent through to your public relations folks and also to Paul that has employee newsletters, signage, articles, social media posts, really anything you would need to help share this information, because we want this to be easy, because we know it's a lot to ask folks to help us with this. And then additionally, in with that communication toolkit, there is a sample air quality business plan, which has a list of ideas. And like I said, it's flexible and kind of a la carte, I would say. So there are different ideas, so things that you could do, possibly alter the mowing schedule. Like in our office, we have someone who is going to unplug microwaves and turn off hallway lights. How will you inform your employees that there's an air quality advisory day? In our office, it's simply we're printing it off and putting it at the employee entrance. Some people are issuing an email. So we would like to work with your department heads to put plans in place for their department, something that would work for them, that would work for Clermont County to help reduce emissions and help us meet these air quality standards.
And so you'll also, I know in the past you've had a partnership with OKI.
That's right. This is a regional program with OKI and our office. So the program, and that's been for the last 20 years, our office, we issue used to be Smog Alert, now Air Quality Advisory, and OKI has been really instrumental in relaying that message to the business community. That's typically been their role. So it's
down on the highway, you'd see it up on the sign.
That's right. That's right. And you'll still see those even with the new program. We work very closely with OKI in this program.
And Commissioner Humphrey's the past president of OKI.
Great. So that really wraps up our presentation. Be happy to answer any more questions. But again, we'd like to pass information along to your departments and see if we can work together on putting some plans in place to reduce emissions.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any discussions?
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for coming to us. And we'll see if we can't work on some business plans to help you meet the quality standards.
Even though you're working toward getting between, the 65, 70, good possibility that's not going to happen right now, but you want to be working toward
Got to be working
that.
toward a goal.
Yeah, okay.
Right. We expect that the standards will be lowered in the future.
Right.
And we know, these are national standards, so we know we have to meet them.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
One
all.
question I would ask, what happens if we don't meet the standards?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, there is a direct relationship between air quality and economic development. So there can be stricter permits for it placed on industries in particular, which can be a hindrance to economic development.
But is that restrictions region-wide, or is it to the county if you have more than 2 or 3 exceedances?
It's, if our region is in non-attainment, the industries in that region have to fall under those potentially stricter permitting.
Okay. So we'd hope it wouldn't be Clermont then.
Well, but it's a region. I heard you say the region.
Right,
so-
because then everybody else be mad at us.
Okay, thank you. The next item,
Question over here.
yes,
I
another,
have a question. Why don't we use septic system to clean the water?
septic systems are an on-site system, and sewer, this didn't talk, this was air quality we were talking about here.
Yeah, they
but-
started talking about water in the beginning.
I did broach the subject.
Yes,
And we do have septic systems in this county. We have all sorts of different types of on-site systems that treat water where we don't have central sewers.
Right. Because I'm from Pakistan, and in the neighborhood I lived in was designed by British engineers, and they put in septic system. Nobody paid money to get the water clean.
Yeah.
The Mother Nature did it for us, and it was actually the cleanest water in the whole city. It was very soft, not hard water, and the water I drink here for the first time, it tasted like chemicals. That's the truth.
yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do have a lot of septic on-site systems where they can't have public sewer. So we have both.
And the soils have a lot to do
Right.
with how effective an on-site type of system, septic system can be. And we have poor soils for
Yep.
those type systems. So,
Lots of clay.
Yeah.
yeah, lots of clay. All right.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you all
Thank
very
you.
much.